Why would we be talking about publicly traded companies joining and leaving the S&P 500? Because companies joining the S&P 500 includes TKO Group Holdings. This is basically they've reached that last hurdle, right?
Yeah.
They went public a couple of decades ago. John Cena really maybe doesn't get enough credit for being the champion during a time when it was not easy to be a champion of a pro wrestling promotion, because you had to do a bunch of please the board of directors stuff and please the shareholders stuff and please the mutual funds that invest in us stuff. But this is it. Now the big merger with UFC into TKO Group Holdings, and now the company as a whole being large enough to be included in the S&P 500. What, besides just seeing TKO Group Holdings there, what was your response to seeing this and why you sent it to me?
Well, this is amazing news for TKO, the company that runs UFC, the WWE. I think they might have like bullfighting, PBR. The bull, that might be included in TKO, but don't quote me on that one. This is going to be huge for them because when you're in the S&P 500, your most simple investment, usually people are just like, hey, put it in the S&P 500. That's why that number is always followed when they talk about like, oh, how's the stock market? Because most people in their 401ks, they have money in the S&P 500.
It's an index fund, yeah.
It's an index fund that is used by many Americans in their 401ks. So TKO is just going to be getting more and more money as a result of being in the S&P 500 because it's a lot of people's default. Okay, throw in the S&P 500. If they were out of that S&P 500, they're not getting the money. Now that they're in the S&P 500, it's a great spot to be. So it's going to be very good for them.
A company's market capitalization must exceed $14.5 billion to qualify for inclusion in the S&P 500. All changes will be effective at the start of trading on March 24th. So this coming Monday, right after we release this live stream on Saturday night, March 22nd, as it says there on your screen. This is pending to happen on the very next day that the trading doors are open. DoorDash also in there, TKO, Williams-Sonoma, Expand Energy. So some other popular names, up and covers. DoorDash, of course, benefiting in recent years from delivery services, that being a much bigger deal rather than people always going out to restaurants. You know, DoorDash, Grubhub, places like that have figured out Uber Eats. They figured out how to do delivery, generated, of course, by a lot of really modern software that makes it easier for restaurants to use. Although you'll get some pushback from restaurants who say, yeah, it's easy to use, but it's kind of cutting into our bottom line. It's kind of a devil that you know, devil that you don't. I guess we have to. But, you know, DoorDash, they've got a great business model at the moment. TKO seems to as well. Don't know much about the other ones. Don't know much about those that are leaving the S&P 500. Well, the only thing I will say is for Borg Warner, I guess you will not be assimilated. Oh, it's so funny because he said Borg and not assimilated.
I love it.
Yes, thank you, Family Guy, foreign guy who explains the sarcasm to Peter.
Subscribe now. You buried the lead. It's the best. Hey, everybody, just reminding you to subscribe to Don't Bury the Lead right now. Do